At first I thought about a Monet, but that didn't work. Then I thought about a mosaic, and that works. Think about all the things that make up this program: the people, the courses, the language partners, the resource rooms, the FACE program, and all the other ancillary activities. And now imagine each one of them being a tile in that mosaic. When you step back to take a look, what you see is a community of learning, a community that forces you to look at the world beyond yourself. This is a program that brings people together and helps them to broaden their perspective on life. I want to take this opportunity to welcome all the new students, instructors, and tutors to the Education Justice Project, and I hope you have a great semester and a wonderful journey.
Figure out how to get out of there. Although the second speaker as well is speaking specifically about the Education Justice Project, what both of them have to say could apply just as well to any one of the peer college and prison programs across the United States.
If someone were to ask me to describe the Education Justice Project in one word, I would offer up the word symbiosis, which is defined as a relationship of mutual benefit. This word captures how I interpret the EJP experience. I see the Education Justice Project as a relationship between EJP staffers and the student body that is premised on the mutual benefit of higher learning. Now, although EJP is an extension of the University of Illinois, the higher learning that I speak of today is not academic, but it is educational. In fact, it is educational justice. Our higher learning is earned through a challenging but very rewarding process of extending ourselves to others for others. It is in this extension that our awareness is elevated above the racial, political, religious, and socioeconomic restraints that limit our ability to see ourselves and others. Now, of course, we engage in some of the same academic practices as other instructors and students on the traditional university campuses. Yet I believe that we possess a few extra ingredients to give EJP a different flavor. One of those ingredients is the manner in which we enter into this experience. We don't come in as Professor so-and-so or gang chief such and such. We simply come in as Rebecca, JoJo, Dre, Nicole, and plain old Bill. Our thinking is to subordinate titles, attitudes, and preferences that accentuate our differences, and promote attributes and concerns that reveal just how much we actually have in common. Now, this doesn't mean that we abandon our intellects, our individual intelligence that is the offspring of our lived experiences. It simply means that we give our intellects the freedom to acclimate to and explore unfamiliar ideas as we negotiate what it means to be human. It is our approach to this negotiation that produces educational justice. Each member of EJP is provided with an opportunity to participate in researching, examining, and discussing ideas that give perceptible form to our humanity. Our project creates the space for us to come in and discuss what our aspirations are, our curiosities, our concerns, and even our displeasures. In addition, EJP extends room for us to be powerful at times, to be vulnerable at others, to become efficient, and even to be clumsy. We are given a space to be all of these things while we extend ourselves to others, for others. We do this with the understanding that what we do to and for others will have a direct impact on our personal well-being as well as our community. For all of those who are new to EJP, my advice to you would be that you allow your first steps of this journey to be taken simply as you are. And I ask that you do not bring any expectations with you. For I fear that any expectations that you may have may blind you to the many unsuspected blessings that EJP produces on a regular. Lastly, I ask that you be ready to extend yourselves to others for others. and be open to receiving the extension of others to and for you. Thank you.
EJP students are exceptional, but they are not exceptional. There are men and women like them in prisons across this country. They've worked on becoming their best selves. They study with conviction and passion, and they're ready to build and to contribute to programs on the inside, that is to say, within the prison, and on the outside, that develop human potential and support positive social change. Higher education offers them one means by which to develop the skills to fill the roles they seek to fill. They value higher education for the same reason so many of us do, because it cultivates curiosity, openness, criticalness, and rigor. It helps them to break open received wisdoms and stereotypes and frames of knowledge. It challenges thoughts and habits of thinking, and it produces ripple effects among those whom it touches. That's why higher education is a social good. So let's be thoughtful as a society about where we aim those ripples. Higher education in prison, because of whom we have locked up and where they come from, produces reverberations, ripples, multiplier effects, just where we, at least I, most want them. Among communities of historically disadvantaged people, where these effects are perfectly poised to disturb decades and centuries old patterns of restricted educational access, disadvantage, and oppression. Why provide higher education to men and women in prison? Because that's where the students are. In prison, we find people who are poised to lead, to build movements from the bottom up, and to set and to speak to their own agendas. We should educate them, and then we should get out of their way. Thank you. Do you want to handle the questions?
Thanks. So we're going to open it up to questions. We ask that you please hold your questions till the person who's asking their question gets their answer. Megan's going to be walking around with the microphone for those who have a question. If you have one, please raise your hand and we'll try to identify you so we can speed this along. Thank you.
Okay, I always hate to be first, but I wanted to ask you about, on the front end of things, obviously education to prevent people going in the first place. There's a movement here to do that and keep people out of the jails, which is a stepping stone to the pens, I guess, in a way. And I'm struck by the fact that the county board meets in an old school building, which is right next to the jail, and as much as I'm anguished by the idea that schools have become prisons, notably in East St. Louis. There's a very ghastly circumstance there, I think. That somehow it seems to me that that whole area could be repurposed and the jail could be, that the school could be a school for short-term people. And I just wanted to know if you had any insights about that sort of thing, sort of short classes for people who are just even waiting to be adjudicated, as opposed to, because we have that circumstance in a large ways, and before Books to Prisoners got in it, the library was just absolutely abysmal, and it's pernicious, it seems to me. So, not a question, but I'd like for your reactions, and thanks for your work.
Thank you. Absolutely. If you're speaking about educational facilities being available in jails as well as in prisons, I support that strongly, and I would support local efforts to do that, or to increase the educational opportunities. Now there are, as you know, Joe Coyle, I don't think he came today, but he's been running some educational programs in the local jail. Barbara, of course, has been doing that.